Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Mega Lucario from Pokemon. So we're going to draw the characters in a standing position facing in that direction. So we're going to start with the eye. So starting on the top left, we'll draw a straight line to the right in an angle. From here, we're going to curve up the front, just curling up the upper brow. And then from here, we're going to curl in the bottom of the eye. So starting here, we're just going to do a little overlap, curve around to the front of the eye. From here, let's draw in the iris. So in the center here, we're just going to draw a curve going up, and then in the center here we're just going to draw a little line going down. From here, let's go over to the muzzle. So up here, right across the eye here, we're going to draw a line coming down at an angle. From here, we're going to curve down towards the neck. So the neck is basically directly below the eye. So we're going to curve up to the nose, and then on the back we're going to do the same thing. So just the same curve towards the back of the head, and from here we're going to curve a line upwards to the top of the ear, and we'll locate the tip of the ear right about here. So starting at the base, I'm going to draw a curve going up to the top of the ear. From here we're going to curve down towards the eye from the opposite direction, right about there, and then we're going to just go up a little bit here, and we're going to draw a curve down just past the edge of the nose, so there's a little slight overlap there. Let's draw the ear in the back. So this same ear in the back here, we'll start up here, curving up in an angle, and then coming down towards the forehead. Let's draw in some ear detail. So in the inside of the ear here, we're going to draw a curve going up, and coming down, and we're going to connect those 2 points with a curve going up and down, or 2 lines going up and down. On this side here, we're going to do a curve up, and then come back down. Let's draw in a little bit of detail in the face. So in the mouth is right down here, so we're just going to draw a little curve for the mouth, and then some stripes in the face. So up here, where this line sort of overlaps, we're going to curve down the front of the face, and we're going to do a little wiggle around the eye. So going up, down, around the eye, and then up by the ear. And from here, we're going to curve down, and then we're going to curve back to the back of the head. We're going to move down here and do a curve coming down, going out, and then we're going to wiggle this line underneath the eye up to the front of the nose, and then we'll curl this back down towards the chin. Okay, so that's the base of the head. Let's get into the body. So the neck is quite thin, so we're just going to pull 2 straight lines coming down, and then we're going to draw in some fur around this neck. So starting in the middle here, in between the neck lines, we're going to draw a curve going out, and we'll draw another curve going to the left. We're just going to curl this back in the opposite direction. This. Now we're going to draw a little bit of fur on this side, and it's going to sort of stick out a little bit further on the right. So just underneath this neck, or this head, we're going to curve in, we're going to curve out, and we're going to curve underneath the chin like that. On this side here, we're going to draw a longer strand, just because the head's turned this way, you're going to see a little bit more sticking out this way. So coming out, and then coming back in. And right here we're going to do an overlap going out, and then coming back in right about here. So you want to leave a little gap in the middle of the chest, because we're going to bring this down towards the hips. So starting on the left side here, we're going to curve down. So one curve coming down, so the waist is here. So on the right, we're going to do the same thing. So the same direction. And we're going to draw that little spike in the center of the chest. So over in the middle here, we'll draw a curve, and we're going to go out to a point in the middle, just like so. From here, we're going to flare out the hips towards the fur along the hips. So on the left here, we're going to curve out and then down. On the right, we'll do the same thing. So curving out and then down. And then we're going to just go across here with some fur detail. So from this point, we'll curve up, curve down and in, and back up. So we're just going to repeat this pattern, going across, and we're going to get bigger as we get towards the middle, and then we're going to go smaller as we get on to the outside. So you see I'm getting a little bit smaller here, just like that. From here, let's get into the legs. So we're going to draw 2 big thighs going down to dog-like legs. So just underneath this side on the fur, on the left side, we're going to draw a curve coming down to the knee area, and on the right we'll do the same thing. So doing an overlap and curving down. From here, the knees get really narrow, but the upper thighs are quite thick. So over here, we're going to do an overlap of this thigh. So curving in, and then just pulling that in like this. On this side, we're going to go with a curve that just kind of bows across like this. We'll go to the left leg and just finish this leg off. So the bottom of the feet are going to be roughly about here. So this back of the leg, we're just going to keep continuing that on. So pulling that back to the heel, and then from here, I'm just going to curve down to the bottom of the foot. From this, we're going to curve the bottom of the paw. So we're just going to draw a curve like this, and at the top, we'll just curl around the first paw. We'll do an overlap. So we're just going to overlap these paws underneath. So just doing a curve on the top, closing that off, and then under here we'll do the third, and then closing this off here. And then from this point, I'm going to do a reverse curve for the socket of the spike. So up here, I'm just going to draw a curve going up, and then in the opposite direction we'll come down. We're going to go across and up just a little bit, just aiming towards that point there. We'll do another socket here, and we'll draw another point. From here, I'm just going to make my way with a curve up to that point in the thigh. Let's draw in a little bit of detail. So here, there's like a little point that comes up, goes straight down, and then back of the foot here. And then there's some wiggly lines across the thigh. So up here, I'm just going to wave in a couple lines like this. And then one up here, I'm just going to curl this around the back of the leg, like so. Let's go to the right leg and finish this off. So this foot is going to be pointing more forward than this side. Okay, so this, we're going to bring it down to the same height. So on the inside of the leg, we're going to curve it down. On the outside, we'll curve it down. So going out, so it starts to spread out. From here, I'm going to go a little bit longer. And then from here, I'm just going to curve in the opposite direction. On this side, I'm actually going to make it a little bit longer as well. And curve in the opposite direction. In between these two, we're going to draw the center toe first. So I'm just going to draw sort of like a circle with an opening at the top. Over here on this side on the left, I'm just going to pull that in underneath that toe. And on the right, I will do the same thing. Let's go ahead and draw in some spikes here. So because the foot's pointing forward, we're going to have to draw these spikes sort of turn this way. So starting in the center here, I'm just going to draw a curve like this. And then from here, I'll draw a curve going out to the tip and then curving up. Draw the tiny one here, so a little socket. And we're just going to draw a little point like that. From here, let's get into some detail. So this spike first, draw that point to the top of the middle and come back down. We're going to draw some wavy lines coming down the thigh. So up here, I'm just going to curve this around like this. And it doesn't really matter if you match exactly how I'm doing. I'm just going to put in some random lines like so. Okay, so we got the legs. Let's get into the arms. So there's these shoulder pods that stick out. So right about here, I'm going to draw two horizontal lines coming out from the body. On the left side here, I'm going to curve around underneath the fur around the neck. We're going to draw a spike here. So we're going to draw that socket first. And then two lines going to a point. Over here, this arm actually gets stuck into the shoulder mount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up a little bit and draw a curve. Now because this arm is going to go inside this shoulder, this line is going to have to wrap around that arm. So let's go ahead and draw the arm first. So from this point, I'm going to curve the upper arm, and then I'm going to curve in the opposite direction for the forearm, and then come down to the paw. From here, I'm going to roll the first paw around, and then we're going to do an overlap here, and I'm going to curve in the second. From here, we're going to draw a socket. So curve in the opposite direction, and then from here, I'm going to curve down, and from here, I'll curve in the opposite direction as well. From here, we're going to go up here. So we're going to imagine this part of the paw going behind that spike, and coming in, like so. And then from here, I'm going to curve in the opposite direction, and then pull that back in over the shoulder. Now this point here, I'm just going to curl that back underneath that arm. Let's go ahead and draw the spike. So up here we're going to draw a curve for the socket, and we'll go out to a point. Let's draw in some detail around the arm. So similar to what I did here on the legs, we're going to start down here, curve in and down towards the paw, and go up. Curve up to the outside of the arm. Up here, we're going to just draw some detail. So a couple stripes along this way and this way. So we got that arm. Let's do the left arm here. So pretty much we're going to take that arm and just flip it over this way. So starting with the inside of the arm, starting here, we basically curved in towards the elbow. This way. And we're going to do a reverse curve down to the paw. So reversing and then curving around the paw like we did here. Let's make that a little bit longer. We're going to do an overlap. Draw the second paw, just like we did here. Let's draw that socket. And then we're going to draw that spike. So curving down to the left, and then back in. And from here, I'm going to curve in towards the elbow, and curving back out, and then back in underneath that shoulder mount. It's drawing some spike in behind. So we're going to draw a little spike behind the arm. Almost forgot one on this side as well. So put that in there. Do the same thing we did here with that little stripe detail. So curving in, and then curving back underneath the arm. From here, we're just going to draw a little bit of detail, like so. Now we got that. We've got the main part of the body. Let's get into the appendages on the head. So there's these three things that stick out behind the head. So it looks like there's this wavy line. Starting up here, we're just going to draw this sort of wavy line that goes around the head on the left side. Up here, we're going to leave a gap and draw another wave. And then up here, it looks like there's like another wave that goes behind the ear like that. Up here, we're going to imagine this line going behind the ears in between here, and then it's going to come out on the right side. Again, we're just doing some random wavy lines. We're going to start down here, and go across, make it big on the end, and then come back. It gets a little bit smaller as it comes back in towards the head. And we'll draw one more down here. So starting by the nose, we'll curve out, make this a little bit longer, and pull this back towards the head. And again, it doesn't have to match exactly how I'm drawing it. I'm just drawing in a random wavy line. Do a curve here for the head, and then up here. The final part is the tail. So back here, we're going to put a big bushy tail in. So starting up here by the hips, do a curve going up, and then back. Go up in behind the arm, and from here, we're going to curve a point in the fur and come back. We'll do an overlap, curving up, curving back, and we'll do another overlap here, curving the opposite direction. Now from here I'm just going to do a little wave that goes down behind the leg, and that is pretty much it. There we have it. There's Mega Lucario from Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you check out our Pokemon playlist. I have a ton of characters in there. You can also come to our website at www.cartooningforkids.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.